Have you ever questioned your memory? Felt the frustration of being unable to learn and memorize, constantly forgetting what you've just studied? You're not alone. We've all been there, wondering if there's something wrong with our brains. But here's the fascinating truth. Your brain is a powerhouse. In fact, it's been testified to have a memory capacity equivalent to a mind-boggling 2.5 petabytes, roughly the same as 3 million hours of YouTube videos. So, the issue isn't your brain. It's the techniques we use to tap into this immense potential. Let's dive right in and explore the strategies that will unlock your brain's incredible capacity. 1. Goal-oriented learning. This is the most underrated method. Studying volumes of material can indeed appear overwhelmingly daunting, and it's no surprise that this feeling of being buried under a mountain of information can be highly demotivating. This initial sense of helplessness often arises from the psychological phenomenon known as the Zeigarnik effect, where uncompleted tasks tend to occupy our thoughts and create anxiety. Therefore, it is recommended to break down your study material into manageable portions and set clear goals for each study session. This technique is rooted in principles of motivation and achievement. It leverages the psychology of goal setting and accomplishment. Accomplishing these smaller goals releases dopamine, the brain's feel-good neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. This surge of dopamine provides a sense of satisfaction and motivation, propelling you forward to tackling the next goal. It's like a series of small victories that gradually build your confidence and momentum. 2. Spaced repetition. This method revolves around reviewing information at spaced intervals over time, rather than cramming it all in at once. This technique is based on the psychological principle known as the spacing effect. Research has shown that spacing out learning sessions leads to better long-term retention compared to massed practice, where we study for extended periods without breaks. By spacing out your study sessions, you give your brain the opportunity to encode the information more deeply and make stronger connections, leading to improved recall. Here's how it works. If you're studying for a history exam, you might review a specific era or event for 20 minutes today, then revisit it again in a couple of days, and again after a week. This spaced repetition allows your brain to consolidate the information and strengthen the neural connections associated with that knowledge. The reason spaced repetition is so effective lies in the way our brains naturally forget information over time. When we cram for a test, we may remember the material for a short period, but it quickly fades away. However, by revisiting the information at strategic intervals, we reinforce our memory and make it more resistant to forgetting. 3. Mnemonic devices. These are like superpowers for your memory. They are powerful tools that help you remember information by creating patterns, associations, or acronyms. By using these techniques, you can transform complex concepts and details into vivid and memorable connections that are easy to recall. Let's say you're trying to remember the order of the planets in our solar system. Instead of trying to memorize them in a linear fashion, you can use a mnemonic device like my very eager mother just served us nachos. Each word in this sentence represents the first letter of a planet: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. By creating this memorable phrase, you can effortlessly recall the correct names as well as order of the planets. Mnemonic devices work by tapping into our brain's natural ability to remember images and associations. Our brains are wired to remember visual and emotional information more effectively than abstract facts. 4. Pomodoro Technique. This method involves breaking your study time into intervals, typically 25 minutes long, followed by a short break of around 5 minutes. By working in focused bursts and taking regular breaks, you can maintain your concentration, prevent burnout, and ultimately study with increased productivity. This technique is based on the idea that our brains can only maintain high levels of focus for 20 to 45 minutes on average before becoming fatigued. By dividing your study sessions into manageable chunks, you give your brain the opportunity to recharge during the short breaks. This not only helps to prevent mental exhaustion, but also allows for better retention of information. Additionally, the Pomodoro Technique can help to combat procrastination. Knowing that you only have to focus for a set amount of time before a break can make the task at hand feel more manageable and less overwhelming. It provides a sense of structure and helps to create a sense of urgency, which can be particularly helpful when tackling larger or more challenging study tasks. So, If you find yourself easily distracted or struggling to maintain focus during long study sessions, give the Pomodoro Technique a try. If you are struggling with procrastination, this video might be just what you need to turn things around and boost your productivity. 5. Active learning. Active learning is rooted in cognitive psychology, which tells us that our brains are wired to learn by doing. Instead of passively absorbing information, active learning engages you in the learning process through active participation. Here's how it works. Imagine you've just finished a study session on a complex topic, say quantum physics. Instead of closing your books and calling it a day, why not call up a group of friends? Gather your study buddies, and here's what you can do. Discuss the topic together. Ask each other questions, cross-question, and debate. Throw in some humor. Crack jokes about those quirky quantum particles. Not only will this lighten the mood, but it'll also create strong mental associations between the topic and the positive emotions you experienced while discussing it. 6. Feynman Technique, named after the legendary physicist Richard Feynman. At its core, this technique is grounded in the idea of simplifying complex concepts. It's based on cognitive psychology principles that emphasize the importance of encoding information in a way that's easy to understand and recall. This technique involves explaining a concept in simple terms as if you were teaching it to someone else. By breaking down the information, you not only reinforce your own understanding but also identify any gaps in your knowledge. So, how to practically use the Feynman technique? Imagine you've just successfully completed a focused study session where you've gained a solid grasp of a particular macroeconomics concept. Now it's break time. During your break, seek out a family member, a friend, or anyone who's available and willing to listen. Take a few minutes to explain the concept you just studied. Alternatively, consider writing a blog post about the concept. Distill what you've learned into a clear, concise article. Who knows? Your blog might even become a go-to reference for students and enthusiasts alike. If you're feeling adventurous, use your break time to create a short educational video. Craft an Instagram reel or a YouTube short explaining the macroeconomics concept in a fun and engaging way. It might just go viral and reach a global audience. Incorporating the Feynman technique into your breaks will not only enhance your own learning, but also allows you to share knowledge with others in a meaningful way. The path to successful learning is a journey, not a race. While these techniques are powerful tools to boost your understanding and retention, it's crucial to strike a balance. Yes, work hard, stay dedicated, and keep striving for improvement, but never forget that each person has their unique pace of learning. Don't let the pursuit of excellence become a source of stress. Celebrate your progress, embrace the process, and be patient with yourself. Learning is a lifelong adventure. And as long as you stay committed and enjoy the ride, like and subscribe for more thought-provoking content.